Hello, my name is Alessandra and this is Fitscope. I would like to give you a short little tutorial on downward facing dog. So the way that I get into downward facing dog and get the length that I need is from child's pose. So we're going to take child's pose in a moment. The thing that's most common in downward facing dog is that your hands are like this instead of having them slightly turned out. Having them turned out allows for your upper outer arms to wrap back rather than collapsing them forward, right? So that's the tendency in downward facing dog. So we're going to find that in child's pose, and then we're going to take a downward facing dog. So have your knees a little wider than your hips. Rest your forehead on the mat so your hips are heavy towards your heels. Extend through the arms, so reach through the fingertips as far forward as they'll go. So your forearms are lifting off of the mat. You're pressing through the whole circumference of each hand. Your upper outer arms, wrap them down towards the floor. Feel a broadening in your upper back as you do that. Through all that length, so you're reaching the fingertips forward as you descend the shoulder blades down the back. Then move your hips away from your heels. Keep your hands where they were. Curl your toes under and lift your hips up and back. So usually the distance that you found in child's pose is the right distance for your downward facing dog. Your feet are hips distance, maybe about like 2 fists between your feet. Gaze at your hands. Are they turned in or can you slightly turn them out, please? You're turning them out from the shoulder socket, right? Upper outer arms wrap back. No attachment to the legs straight, so bend the knees. Lift your hips up and back more. This is a spine lengthening pose, not a leg straightening pose. Your heels touching the floor, also completely and totally unimportant. Lift your ribs a little bit. Lift your pelvis up and back. Then you're just going to breathe here. Plenty of space for your neck. Maybe if the spine stays nice and long, you start to straighten the legs. And take a child's pose again and rest. And you can bring yourself up when you're ready. So that's downward facing dog. Remember that it's opening the shoulders, it's lengthening the spine. It's not straightening the legs or heels coming to the mat. If you want to see more of this kind of thing, like a full session, a full class, go to fitscope.com or join the Fitscope app, please. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaste.